Ha 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 ha, Steve. The next reason, the third reason why you're bad at maths is transposition. We've built up to this, we've used BODMAS and we use fractions. If we can't do those two, you cannot do transposition. You will struggle with transposition. You will never do anything in engineering, science or maths where you will not need to be able to transpose equations. You've got to be able to do this. In order to do this, you need to be able to do instinctively the order of equations and fractions. Let's look at an example of this. Right, so let's try something that you should be familiar with. The area of a circle. Pi d squared over 4. And we'll say that's equal to 10 to keep it simple. I know it's not traditional. This is the engineering way to find the area of a circle. Much more accurate because we're not using the radius. We're not having to divide the diameter by 2. So we've got d equals the diameter. What we're going to do in this question is we're going to find an equation that will tell us the diameter of this circle. First step, the rule across all of transposition, is what you do to one side you must do to the other. In this case, on our denominator we've got 4. We want to move the 4 over to the other side. Now we can't just move it. Everyone just tries to move numbers around. You can't just move them. You've got to prove that you're right. Once you get really good at this, you don't really need to prove it. But for now, before you're good at it, and if you've only just realised you can't do fractions and you can't do the order of equations, then you need to do this the slow way. 4. We want to move the 4 to the other side. In order to cancel it off the left-hand side of this equation, we need to multiply by 4. Now remember that what we did in fractions, 4 is 4 over 1. That means we multiply the numerator by 4 and we multiply the denominator by 1. 4 over 4 is 1. So that will cancel with that. What you do to one side, you must do to the other side. So we've got 10 times 4. So we're left with a much more simple equation now. Oops, not wait. Pi d squared equals to 10 times 4. The next step, right, now we need to know the order of equations here, because we cannot take the power d squared and move that over or reduce it. We can't take the square root to find d. We need to move pi first. In order to get rid of pi, pi times d, the opposite of a multiple is division. So we divide by pi. We divide by pi. Pi over pi is 1, so it cancels off. 10 divided by 4. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. 10 times 4 over pi. So we've got another equation now. D squared equals 10 times 4 over pi. So we're getting there now. Now here's a little bit more complicated bit. D squared. To cancel off squared, you need to take the square root. Now oops, not pink, red. The square root of d squared is the same as the square root of 2 squared. 2 squared is 4, the square root of 4 is 2. So we're cancelling the squared and we're left with d on its own, but we've squared this side, the left hand side, so we must have to square the other side. And there we have it. D is equal to the square root of 10 times 4 over pi. Please understand transposition. It doesn't get it gets a little bit harder than this, but not a lot. You just need to be able to do it well. Now if you need more help, there's infinite videos, infinite websites that will help you with this and give you lots of examples to practice. But do it. Make sure you understand it well before you move on to anything else.